Well, that tasted like crap. Welcome, Midwest Camper Guy. Welcome to another exhilarating review or discussion or points or whatever I end up naming this video. Oh yes, 10,879 mile review. That is what happens when you don't keep your hands on the steering wheel. Okay, ladies, guys, dudes, children, dogs, iguanas, everyone watching, let's talk about 10,000 miles, 10,881 miles. I'll give you a live update as we progress here. Update of 2021 F150. I also included as a bonus a truck starter pack, what every truck needs to have in it at all times. To be included will be 5 likes and dislikes that I've come to determine over the last 10,000 miles. This is meant to kind of be an update to one of my previous videos. Look at those raw video, part 1 of the F150. And really, it's just more time to be in, another, 9,000 miles makes a difference. A couple things have happened as far as repairs. A couple things have been updated. In general, it's pretty much the same old truck from that video. So for the fun of it, let's start with our truck starter pack, which includes a Menards receipt or multiple laying randomly somewhere for easy grab for all the crap you buy and then realize you don't need it and then you return it. Luckily, Menards is really easy to return to. It's more of a Midwest store, but hey, it's your Lowe's and Home Depot competitor. A coffee, some random pins. Here's a plug for my company. May or may not know I am an architect. Emergent Architecture is my firm in Iowa. Anybody need any commercial work, let us know. Random markers, a face mask. Sometimes I use it, sometimes I don't. I'm not gonna get into that debate. Also, laptop bag or a bag of some sorts. A delicious or very non-delicious breakfast sandwich wrapper. Down there's some other wrappers, I'm sure. Your sunglasses, and in the back, car seat, and then there's a tape measure and some random straps. So there you go. There's your starter pack for a truck that everyone should have in their vehicle at all times. All right, back to truck stuff. Well, I guess it is truck stuff. Let's talk about issues I've had. I've had basically 2 issues that had to go in for repair service. They were the tailgate. When I first got it, the tailgate would not go up. So it has a power tailgate, a button which I'll talk about here in a minute. The tailgate would not go up. So dealer brought it in, they looked at it. There was a cable or something like that disconnected from the factory or from transport, whatever. So arrived at the dealership, not working. So that was a good quality inspection they did there. Anyway, simple fix. That's done, fixed ever since. The second thing is about 1,000 miles ago, maybe 2,000. I came out in the morning. My truck was dead, completely dead. Nothing was left on or anything like that. So before you start saying user error. So I put it on my battery charger, and after about half hour, it did nothing. And when I say dead, it tested out at just under 3 volts. As you know, we need to be over 12 or 12 or over, and that's quite a bit lower than 12 if I think about math. Anyway, so tested out that. It went up about half a volt for half hour. So I said, okay, whatever. I'm going to go to the back of my truck, which I have the little swing gate caddy thing, get out my jumper cables and jump it. Luckily, it was in my garage. So I pushed the button on the tailgate. Tailgate doesn't go down because it is a power tailgate and it is dead. So I cannot get into my bed. That means my jumper cables were not accessible. And since I have a locking tonneau cover that you have to access when the gate is down, I was out of jumper cables. So hopped in my wife's vehicle, drove to the local hardware store, grabbed some jumper cables, came back, let it charge for about 5 minutes. It reluctantly fired up, but I let it run for a while. Did not shut her off, drove her to the dealer, dropped it off. Hour later they called, they said the battery had dead cell in it, so under warranty they replaced the battery. It's been fine ever since. However, for a battery to go out at 9,000 miles and about 9 months of use seems a little shabby. Anyway, those are the two issues I've had to date. Now it hasn't been without some gremlins that I'll talk about in my likes and dislikes. So quickly, let's go through likes and dislikes of having it. I've kind of narrowed it down to 5, just like everyone does. You know, 5 seems to be a great number because honestly, it's kind of hard to get to much more than 5, especially on the dislike category if you are enjoying your vehicle. So starting out, number 1 like is this engine, the 3.5 EcoBoost, updated for 21. Lots of power. As many of you know, I'm coming from a 6.2 GM family, Silverados to be exact, Silverado. And while those were beastly, sounded great, they weren't without their issues. Towing wise, a 3.5 beats it from a kind of smooth acceleration and all that fun stuff. That's in some of my other videos. I talk more about that. But anyway, the engine is awesome. It is not a beastly sounding V8, although Ford pumps in a little bit of noise augmentation to it, which sounds okay. You lay into it and it sounds decent. People will flame it. But hey, you know, like I said, I came from a 6.2 V8. If I think this is fine, you think it's fine too, because this is my video and I tell you what you think. Like number 2, this lane keep. You've heard it kind of beep a few times. There's a lane keep button on the steering wheel. You activate it. Along with that's kind of this adaptive cruise control, which I also like. So the lane keep is nice. It actually does a great job. Here's my hand, not touching the steering wheel. Does a great job of keeping you centered in the lane. It will take curves and everything. Now, if I don't have my hand on it for a while, it will kind of get angry at me, starts scolding me, says place your hands, then it gets really mad and starts yelling at me and says take the wheel. Anyway, so it does that. So I do like that. It makes kind of driving, especially in windy conditions, better, because it really kind of fights the wind for you, so you don't really have to. All right, like number 3, the exterior lighting. Now, something a lot of people haven't shown in videos, but when you approach the truck at night with a fob in your pocket, it automatically lights up before, as you just get close. It has kind of a proximity sort of sensor in it with the lighting. That is awesome. It's great. It really allows you to see as you approach your vehicle, and also just the lighting in general. Compare that to other trucks on the market. A lot of times you can't test drive vehicles, or you don't test drive vehicles at night, but I always recommend taking them for 24 hours if you can. I know in this market that makes it nearly impossible. A lot of trucks don't light up. My wife has a 21 Tahoe and it barely lights up. It does a little bit, but in general, I saw a video of the new Toyota Tundra. Has like 0 lights on it, even with their top of line limited trim package. So anyway, keep that in mind. Like number 4, the shifter. And I throw this in there because there are multiple different kinds of shifters on the market when it comes to trucks. Ford, in some trim models, are sticking to their shifter here in the console as opposed to at the column. I've had both. I even had push button shifters in the 21 Tahoe. So I feel like I am slightly qualified to comment on a preference here. So I've had this one, obviously. We've had the column shifter in my last trucks. And while I think I liked that, because it kind of gave you lots of storage in this area, I've come to miss some of the weird luxuries and comfort of the shifter here. First of all, besides the obvious feeling that you're in a fighter jet due to the shape of it and you're engaging it to shoot missiles, because I've been in fighter jets before to know what that seems like, I imagine it would be a lot like this column or this shifter here in the console. Also with the 21s, you can see they've added this opening, which is a great place to toss your keys, great place to set your cell phone. It's just a nice added little cubby that otherwise it would have been flat. Obviously, if you want to fold this down, which I never do unless you have the folding console armrest piece, you probably will never fold it down. So it's a great added little feature. This height of this actually is great. You have your arm, you rest your arm on the console holding your cup of coffee or whatever, and the coffee sits on top of that in your hand, and it's just a nice, perfect little now doesn't that feel good? And finally, number 5 is just kind of an overall general interior space feel, design, look, ride, comfort, all that fun stuff kind of grouped together. I know those can be multiple categories, but in general, I thought it was just easiest to group the overall feel, look, and everything of the Ford. My other video where I talk about it, I do very much like the design of the interior of it and the space of the Ford. Okay guys, now let's start with the dislikes. Again, you know the drill, 5 of them, because 5 is a great number for people to use on YouTube like and dislike comparison videos. Therefore, number 1 dislike is this integration of the screen and everything. I will note though, if you're paying attention earlier in the video, the screen was dark. That is the night mode. It kind of tints it automatically to a blue-ish hue, which is nice. And then this day mode, it kind of changed it to this sort of white feeling. So the integration of the phone is glitchy on this. In general, the phone connects pretty good through CarPlay. It's kind of weird because if you have 2 phones in here, it sometimes will get confused. Like Bluetooth will connect to my phone, CarPlay will connect to my wife's phone or my phone. It's like they have to duke it out to see who wins the connection test. If you are leave the vehicle running and you have your phone with you and you come back to the vehicle, you basically 8 times out of 10 screw it up. Like it does not know how to reconnect itself for some reason. And whether that means CarPlay just kind of freezes up or what, you almost have to shut off the truck completely and have it resync from fresh. Or sometimes what works for me is to go onto your phone and actually physically close the Pandora app or the CarPlay app or whatever is running, and then that can sometimes help sort of reset and let it reconnect. In general, Bluetooth pretty much always connects. That's really not an issue. Of course, it shouldn't be. Bluetooth has been around forever with vehicle integration, so at least that's okay. It's kind of more the CarPlay glitch. Along with that, I don't know if it's whatever is linking the CarPlay. I know the wireless CarPlays, which this has, can be an issue at times with I don't know, the data streaming or whatever you want to call it from a technical point of view. The uploads and downloads just creates a lot more moving parts in the digital world for the phone. And my iPhone, which is iPhone, I don't know what it is, guys, at 11, 12, 13, I'm not sure. The Pro or Max or whatever, it's not Max, not huge, but it's has 3 cameras on the back, so you iPhone nerds, that should tell you what it is. I don't know what it is, but it drains my phone. If I'm connected and listening or whatever, I can basically drive an hour and have half a battery left on my phone, and my phone is blazing hot. So I don't know if it's an Apple issue or what, but just a heads up on that. Although I will say the same phone in my Silverado truck didn't get blazing hot. However, that did not have wireless CarPlay, so again, I don't know if that has anything to do with it. So in general, number one dislike is kind of the integration, the glitchiness of the CarPlay integration, specifically my iPhone getting hot and burning. And again, I don't know if that's a Ford deal or an iPhone thing, but I would think they would figure it out since iPhone is huge, Ford is huge. They need to come together and figure out what's going on. Number two dislike, as I've stated in in one of my other videos, the lane keep assist. I know it was a like, but it's also a dislike. It can feel very overpowering at times. It can feel like it's trying to pull you one way or the other really hard, and you almost have to fight it sometimes. The adaptive cruise, again, that's kind of a love-hate thing. I think in general I like it 70-80% of the time. The only time you don't like it is when it annoys you because you get up behind someone slow. Everyone knows the drill. And it slows you down, and then it makes you all infuriated because you lost 2 seconds of your life by going just a fraction slower for a short amount of time. However, another cool thing it does have is it can read the speed signs along the highway and automatically speed you up and slow you down as you're going through zones. For example, I'm driving through Iowa, and you go through small towns that drop you from 55 or 60 down to 45 for about 30 feet, and then you go back up to 55 for some random reason. It automatically will do that. Now you can set it how high or below that speed limit you want it to go. So for example, I have mine set to 5 over, so if it sees a sign that says 55, it will automatically put me at 60. If it sees 35, it puts me at 40. If it sees me at 25, it puts me at 30. And I feel like at this point you guys see a rhythm and a pattern going on, therefore you can do the math from here. So that is the next dislike, is the lane keep, just because it tries to pull you so hard. Okay, dislike number 3. This is kind of nitpicky, but hey, when you like most of the things about your truck, you gotta kind of scold them a little. Sunglass holder. Okay, seems pretty functional, right? Holding sunglasses. Does the whole up-down thing like they all do. But you can see I have another pair of sunglasses right here. They're not anything unique. They're just some basic Oakley, whatever brand you want to have, sunglasses. But they don't fit in there. They are too wide. And I know it's the style I picked, but in general, there's all kinds of bigger styles that flare out more than this one. And they just don't fit. So the sunglass holder is not adequately sized for a more of a universal fit. Dislike number 4, tailgate. Okay, no, this isn't the step. I like the step in general. It's the power tailgate. You know how I mentioned the whole battery deal, so I couldn't get into the tailgate. You would think there's a manual override somewhere. And guys, if there is, let me know. I haven't looked in the manual for it. I would like to give for the benefit of the doubt that it is there. However, I've not looked at it. The other thing is it's very slow, and going up, it's very slow compared to other power tailgates on the market. Now, in general, I like the power tailgate as a luxury, and it does not necessarily have to be there, obviously, but there's times I use it quite often with putting plywood or something in the back, and you want it to overhang, so I kind of lift the plywood up and hold it up, take my knee and nudge the tailgate up, and it goes up, and then I can just set the plywood on top. So it does things like that. When we tailgate, I can push the button and walk away and watch all the little peasant truck owners look at it, and then kind of talk amongst their little group of people, saying how unnecessary and how stupid that is. and then secretly want one as well. So really that is probably more of it than the other things, but it is slow. And finally, the last dislike is the underseat storage. I will talk about that more in the video, but in general, I know you can get the folding, locking, whatever, but there needs to be drawers or something like that, because when you have car seats, the underseat storage is basically not accessible without taking the car seat out. So it needs drawers. I feel like I see another video and project coming on. So there you have it, guys. 5 likes and dislikes about the 2021 Ford F-150. This is the Lariat trim, the 502 package with a few of the little Gidgy Gadgets add-on, 3.5 EcoBoost, 355 rear end, tow package, 36-gallon tank, all those good things. The upgrades I have done to it, besides stock, is simply adding Bilstein shocks on the rear. Have not put the 51s on the front yet. I do have a Revolver hard aluminum bed cover, the rolling kind. I do have a bed rug in it, which is also awesome. And the biggest thing I like the most is the crappy Scorpion tires, Pirelli Scorpion tires. I did upgrade to, oh, what did I put on it? I'm gonna have to pause the video and think what I put on it. Falcon Wild Peak 3s, that's what I put on it, guys. Falcon Wild Peak 3s. In general, would I recommend this truck to someone in the market? Absolutely. Would I recommend it over everything else? Yeah, I'm pretty sure I have, even though I've never owned a Ram. I think Ram owners are happy in general, but from a towing standpoint, from the power plant, from the functionality, from the tech, from everything going on, yeah, this would still be the truck I would buy again. Maybe not the exact color combination, but I would definitely buy this truck again. Oh, and just to update, this has been the 10,925,000 mile update.